Now, if you watch this channel or basketball in general, then you would know that the NBA is a league of possibility. And of course, there's always those teams that's overwhelming favorites. The Los Angeles Lakers lost in the first round. The Brooklyn Nets, they ended up losing in the second round. Yet, they're still predicted to both be in the NBA Finals next year. And that is reasonably so, because they have all-star talent, superstar talent on both of their rosters. But what about those teams that put in the work? What about those teams that actually grinded, that actually made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, to the NBA Finals? What about those guys? The Atlanta Hawks were the most surprising team in the NBA playoffs last year, and we all know why. One, we never expected them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Two, they really did have a great chance to make it to the finals this year. I'm really surprised about how nobody is talking about this deep roster that they have. One, let's get to the main point. Trae Young, he easily became a villain in the Eastern Conference. And to see what he did last year in the playoffs itself was truly amazing. You see, in the regular season, he averaged 25.3 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 9.4 assists, while shooting 43.8% from the field and 34.3% from downtown. And in the postseason, he averaged 28.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 9.5 assists, while shooting 41.8% from the field and 31.3% from downtown. To watch Trae Young in the NBA playoffs this year was something that was really exciting, something that the NBA needed. But whenever I looked at the roster, it is insane. First of all, you have players like Bogdan Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, John Collins, Gallinari, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, excuse me if I said his name wrong, Cam Reddish, and Trae Young. Of course, we know Trae Young is the real deal, but all these other guys that I mentioned, if you put them on any roster in the NBA, they would at least be top 5 out of all the players on any team in the league. And that's something that shouldn't go unnoticed. I mean, for crying out loud, the Atlanta Hawks had 9 different players who averaged at least 10 points per game last year. And to look at the players that they have in the Summer League, to look at these guys that they got for still in the NBA draft, was something that I really couldn't believe. You can look at all of my videos, and if you look in the last 3 weeks, I said that the Golden State Warriors should have went for Jalen Johnson. Sharife Cooper was a steal in the NBA draft, and a lot of teams should be scared. You see, Jalen Johnson, he's averaging 17 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists with 1.3 blocks per game, while shooting 56% from the field. And Sharife Cooper, he's averaging 17.7 points, 9 assists, while shooting 51% from the field and 38% from downtown. So whenever you look at it, at the end of the day, the Atlanta Hawks have 11 guys on their roster that can all get decent minutes. And I've warned you guys, even the Atlanta Hawks general manager himself knows that they will end up having to pay every single one of these players. And now we should all know that someone will need to be traded. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Of course, nobody wants to see a player like Cam Reddish go, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, any of these guys. But at the end of the day, they have a strong chance to become title contenders. If Bradley Beal were to become unhappy with the Washington Wizards in the regular season, or even Damian Lillard, then the Atlanta Hawks have the assets to go and get a superstar. Now, we can all come in agreement that Gallinari is a player that should be traded. And that's no offense to his skill set, because it is off the charts offensively. But there's so many players on this roster that deserves a chance. Also, the fact that, like I said before, they have 11 rotational guys is something that's unheard of. So if you pair him with a player like Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, or even Jalen Johnson or Sharife Cooper, then you can go and get a star in the NBA. You can get a guy that has at least made the All-Star game, at least the All-Star game. And trust me, that means that the Atlanta Hawks will take a big leap next year. even if you keep the guys that's on your roster. I mean, imagine the possibilities. It will all come down to coaching for the Atlanta Hawks, because these guys will be able to tear it up defensively. These guys will be able to light it up on every single possession, because they remind me of that Golden State Warriors team that have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala, because they will be able to tear it up once they get it all together. It will come down to coaching, but at the end of the day, we all know that the Atlanta Hawks are on the rise, and a lot of teams should be terrified. There's no guarantee that the Miami Heat will make it to the NBA Finals. There's no guarantee that the Brooklyn Nets will be there, the Milwaukee Bucks, because every single team in the East are getting better. Trust me, the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat, even though people are starting to give the Miami Heat their props. But you know what? None of us want that right now. We want that underdog feeling. We want to prove people wrong. And by the time that people give us our recognition, it will be too late. We will sit up there and be holding up the trophy one day. So every single team in the NBA should be on notice, but don't say anything. Now, before I head out, you guys, I do have 2 questions. But first, make sure you follow me on both of my Instagram pages. Once I reach 1,100 followers on both platforms, I'll be giving away an NBA jersey of your choice. And once I reach 11,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll be giving away an NBA jersey. All you have to do is comment jersey in my DMs. Now, the questions I have for today is, 1, do you think the Atlanta Hawks will make it to the NBA Finals in the next year or 2? And 2, do you think that they should hold on to all of their players, or should they trade them to get a young star? Now, what I will say is, if they do end up keeping all of these players, then that luxury tax, whenever it's time to pay all of those guys, will be off the charts, and they won't be able to keep every single player. But do you think they should try their best, at least, to maintain at least 8 of these players? Now, I appreciate all of you guys loving your support, and as always, this your boy ScottyIce, aka Baby Bron, and you already know, I'm out.